show E4G Talks, an ICT initiative which promises to get inspiring stories and brilliant speakers on board each episode. I am Shavendra, the brand head of this show. Miss Rashmi Saha is free soul who believes in idea that will have something special to add to the society, a simple understanding of self and surroundings. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Ms. Shavinder. Hello, everybody. Namaskar. And thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much, E4G Talks. And Shavinder, I'd like to congratulate and thank you for initiating something so beautiful and bringing in so many people in the same platform to share their stories, their challenges, and a little bit of success that they have got in their lives. So thank you for having me here.
Great, and we are really privileged and honored to have such a versatile personality. Before I start the conversation, I want my viewers to get acquainted to our speaker today. Well, she is a civil engineer by education, a life coach, and NLP practitioner by profession, a solid social reformer by heart, and a travel by passion, a poet by interest, and with more than 13 years of experience. She is also a TEDx speaker, REX Karmavir awardee. And while I was reading her bio, I read that she has touched life more than 40,000 personally and lakhs of them through a virtual medium across length and breadth of the country, and her work is still progress, and that's really commendable, I must say, helping youth, working professionals, homemakers connecting with their lives, transforming them, and getting them better with their emotional balance. She is a founder of initiative, the name Mukti Mission, and have been spreading awareness on two major less spoken issues, that is menstrual hygiene and mental health in women and youth. Miss R, it's wonderful. This is something extraordinary that I'm reading today and talking about you. I'm really feeling so nice, but at the same time, I have many questions to ask you today. So let's start our discussion.
Sure.
Menstrual hygiene and mental health. Why did you start working around this?
Ms. Shavinder, so menstrual hygiene periods is something I think, we as a child, we as a girl child, we as a woman, we all have some problem, the most of us, because of course the problems that come with it, the taboos that come with it, and then again, keeping everything under the carpet. And I have been a curious child all my life. Why? Kyun hota hai? Asking questions. Why? So, that hunger, that curiosity to learn more and more about something which is not being told to me, where I'm not finding logic. I think that was something which was there in my mind all the time as I was growing up. And then when I started traveling and, I started understanding, meeting people and studying the environment and everything, there was this, and personal experiences as well, my personal experiences, like, going somewhere, not getting good toilets, proper toilets, not getting sanitary pads, not even availability. I mean, not even slightest of availability as well. So these things were somewhere getting collected, and I was thinking, what can I do about it as a normal human being, not as a founder of Mukti Mission. So when I got into life coaching and I started reaching out to more and more people, and I was working with life skills, I thought this is something that I can reach out to people and I can also talk about this, and why not create something. So I initiated this organization where I started working on creating awareness only on menstrual hygiene in the first phase of it. And then because menstrual hygiene comes with a lot of life skills, also because we're talking about breaking taboos. When I went on meeting these young girls from colleges, from villages, from cities, I observed there is a requirement of life skills and behavioral skills also, because you just can't tell them and expect them to follow it overnight. You need to make them understand things, and give them the comfort and confidence to accept it. That is where the addition of life skills also started happening in the initiative. And then I added mental health. Why? Because they go hand in hand. A lot of women don't talk about it, youth don't talk about it, and now people are getting sensitized to it. So I thought, why not? People should know at least about it. So that's how it began. That's how it began.
So nice to hear that. This something like this. Not only it's a less spoken, but hardly people talk about it. They really find it very embarrassing. I myself is a science student, so I can imagine how it is. But thankfully, people are coming upfront and talking about it, like the movie Padman and all this.
Yes.
These are it's really commendable if the society is getting really aware of this. But there is so much education around. So why do you think there is a requirement of such awareness?
Right. Amisha, I don't know. I personally believe, education is a misunderstood concept again. People believe literacy, people compare literacy to education. I have a slightly different opinion about it here. Education basically is application of whatever you have learned, experienced, and applied in your lives, right? And these basic things in our lives, people usually they try to avoid it, hide it under the carpets, and things like that. Now, menstrual hygiene has been something, I don't know, people have always shied off to talk about it, not learn about it. And I'm not saying it's their fault, unki galti nahi hai, because it came from generations to generations, right? So no one tried to question it. No one tried to, and even if someone did, they had a standard answer. ऐसे ही होता है. मानना ही पड़ेगा, and these answers, these reactions were coming from our parents, our family members. So we had no other options. अगर हम अपने parents की नहीं सुनेंगे, तुम किसकी सुनेंगे? And then no one knew about it as well. So this kept on going. Although we had biology classes, and we have an understanding how openly we spoke about it. Most of the schools, most of the teachers skip this chapter altogether. They tell about the basic diagram of your basic reproductive systems, and that's it. But here we are talking about a complete mindset change. We are talking about awareness. We are talking about the acceptance, which biology doesn't cover. So this is the reason why even after education, people don't have the right information they need to know. I will tell you, PMS, the concept of PMS, lot of educated women, working women, they don't understand. Now they are knowing, but I remember, 5 years back, no one spoke about it. Now also PMS is just a matter of, women get mocked. If you're angry, if you're not feeling well, why you're PMSing? PMS has become a term. Jahan mazak raha hai. So this has been the thing. But again, what we can do is work towards it. We can start telling people that this is just normal and you just have to accept it and keep learning.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part, what I understood while talking to you is, with what comfort when you talk about such issues. And I'm sure you must be doing that kind of great job, making people at ease to talk, first of all, to talk about it. That's very important. Then comes the understanding and awareness. So I was just recollecting in the movie Padman, Akshay was really ridiculed. So what was people's reaction when you started, working or making people aware on this?
I had all sorts of experience, honestly, so I'll tell you, when I started working on menstrual hygiene, so it was an experimental journey for me. I started from villages of Jharkhand because I thought that moment, even I, like anyone else, I thought कि गांव में ज़्यादा requirement है. यहाँ लोग पढ़े लिखे नहीं हैं, so they might know, they might not be knowing about it. So I should start from this. So I started from knocking their doors and telling them, I want to talk about your periods. And of course, no one utters महावारी के बारे में. So I should say कि आपके बारे में बात करनी है, आपके health के बारे में बात करनी है, महावारी के बारे में बात करनी है. And of course, it's not comfortable. It wasn't comfortable for them. But anyways, as a life coach with the experience that I come, I know how to work around people. I know how to deal with people, their emotions. And it's not about what I want. It's about creating an environment where we can coexist even for 15 minutes, not to make anyone uncomfortable. So I think that experience added a lot of value to this journey and mission. So it started from there, and then when I reached out to colleges, And this was a new experience. There were colleges where I went, where of course schools. So boys are still not allowed to join the session, and I don't usually argue or force them, because it has to start. Even if the girls are okay, maybe 2 years later, 1 year later, maybe we can have boys also. So there were sessions where boys were there in a college, and I saw the the male professors and teachers leaving the room, one by one, because they were uncomfortable. So I understood it. So I have to balance the conversation there, but then I have to keep my point also. So this was it. But then I had good moments also, where I have got immense support from men. So I'll tell you, I have a campaign running which is called hashtag I care for her, which is specifically for men and their support around periods. So we ask them to post pictures, we take their messages, we take, and they come up with all sorts of support. They'll create art, they'll create message, they'll give me messages, they'll hold a sanitary pad in their hand and send pictures with a message. So every single support counts here, because men have never been talking about this. So when you see one of your uh, friend or an acquaintance coming out and sharing that in your social media profile, they're like, acha ye kar sakta hai, to hum bhi kar sakte hain. Even if not publicly, at least in your family. And this is exactly what I'm aiming, that women should get the comfort from their for the men, from the men around them, be it their partners, brothers, or colleagues, whatever. So it's going well. I had all sorts of experience here.
Great, great. And something which is so biological, nobody can, why to hold a women gender responsible for that.
Yes.
And I'm glad, as you mentioned, that men also are supporting. So, what is the role of men, and what is their awareness or acceptance towards this?
See, men play a very, very important role. And of course, you'll understand this. We have men in all forms around us, right? Mr. Vinder, I come from a family where I have had this openness in the family itself. I shared my periods for the first time with my father, because he used to be this gharka doctor, who used to give us medicines for everything. So there was something wrong. My stomach was hurting. So Papa was the first person I went to tell, that something is wrong with me. But then I understood how to explain this, because of course I was growing up. You can understand. But then he knew there was not, we never used to sit and chat about it. But of course, there was no hiding and shaming from Papa se nahi batana hai. Okay. Then my Nana ji, he used to practice homeopathy. So he used to give me medicines again. So he used to ask. And there was no hesitation. He used to talk about it. Now this came in the family. Now again, because I was exposed that men can also be sensitized, and if they get sensitized, it becomes very easy for the women in the house to feel better when they are in pain, when they are going through something. Now if we just expand this, and we just enlarge the canvas, you can understand, we have our friends around us. So now you won't believe, so when I am PMSing, or when I'm going through my periods, at least people who know me, they know it, because and I want them to know why, because I see the impact in their personal lives also. A lot of women have came and thanks, said thanks, Rashmi, thank God you for doing this, because now his perception has changed. Now I'm getting more support, and this is the impact that I want to see. So men, of course, play a very important role, at least in understanding that women is going through some difficult times. If nothing, if you can't do the household, if you can't bring pets, if you cannot do anything, because they are also getting sensitized in a very slow process. They also have a mental blockage which has been there for years and generations. So we need to give them time also to understand. But then yes, at least their acceptance will help a great deal. That's what I believe.
So true. And I'm sure with the efforts that you're putting in. So do you see some kind of changes also?
Yes, yes. As I just mentioned, now, again, like the session we are having right now, people will see it. And a lot of times we have interviews on radio or newspapers or any article. Then, I see people coming up and, telling me, okay, I learned this today. I'm like, okay, this is good. then I see a lot of support from the youth now. Youth is joining the movement. Now, when you start changing and bringing in change in youth, I think we are sorted for upcoming next generation, right? So I see the sensitivity, although there it's more like because it's a trending issue, so we should know about it, which I am again working on, that they should not just work around this for some time and then just leave it. They need to understand the sensitivity also. There is a age, there's an age, there is a way, there is an understanding when you talk about periods. You cannot talk to the same thing to a 16-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl, to a 10-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl, to women from the urban area and women from a rural area. You need to understand and observe. So I'm working on that also. There are a lot of young people who come to me for the guidance, and also I'm working on that also. So yes, changes are there.
I really, wish you a lot of best wishes for the endeavor that you are already,
Thank you.
it's I feel so great. My episode is the series that choose to challenge, and you're actually doing a challenging work. All right, moving on with the discussion and sweet conversation. Another thing when we talk about women is the women empowerment.
Yes, yes.
So, is women empowerment, does it actually exist or is it misinterpreted?
Ms. Shavindra, I believe, women empowerment is something, the definition is very subjective, but majorly how people are considering women empowerment is that we need to uh, wear short clothes, we need to abuse, we need to have the freedom of doing something which is not required. I just take it in a negative way. But I would want to, take this opportunity and use this platform, sharing this, that women empowerment is not about every woman coming out of the house and doing thing, or working, or wearing short clothes, or having a lifestyle, a lavish. No, it's not about it. Women empowerment, a woman can be empowered as a homemaker also, if she is allowed to take decisions, if she's respected, if she has the freedom to make her own decisions, and she is given the basic rights and respect that she deserves. I think that is a very symbol of women empowerment. Women don't want things that they don't want, and I think I have always believed in women equity, gender equity rather than gender equality. I believe women and men are very different. For that matter, the third gender, they're also different. What we actually need is to respect the individuality and the difference between us. This is what women empowerment for me is, because I have also seen a lot of working professionals, women, who are doing great in their lives socially and professionally, but when they come back home, they're not treated well. They don't have the rights to choose even the curtains of their houses. You know, they'll be questioned their household skills. This is not women empowerment. Is thinking ये तो बाहर जाके काम कर रही, ये तो empowered है. No, it has to be a holistic empowerment. A woman should feel empowered, safe, respected. This is what I believe.
Yes, exactly. And at times I have also seen incidents vis-a-vis to what we are discussing.
Yes.
Women do take it at times as an advantage. So, according to you, is it a women empowerment is a threat or an asset?
You know what? I very simply believe in, if we understand the graph, the journey, we have to accept women have been suppressed for a good amount of time, in the history. Not the earlier part of the history, but it was recent history. Women were not given the treatment they deserved. So now what's happening, because the society has been used to, we कहते हैं ना, पुरुष प्रधान देश है. This was a term devised. I mean, this was a term which was going on. So now what's happening is, again, because there is a disturbance in the equilibrium that people have had in their mind. Okay, women has to be this. Now women are getting educated. Now people have a problem. I don't understand why. Yes, if there is a negativity around this, if someone is misusing their powers, whoever it is, It's a man or a woman or someone from the third gender. If you're misusing your powers, it is wrong in every sense, right? But then what's basic is basic. A woman should not have the targets, like, she is meant to be, she should not be judged upon her uh, capabilities of cooking. She should not be judged around her capabilities of giving birth, when, how. So I think there has to be a basic equilibrium about, a woman should, or a human should be treated as human, as simple as that. So yes, negativity is negative of whoever does
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that I guess can be for any gender for that matter.
Yes, 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 yes.
So when we talk about women empowerment, what comes to my mind is what are the skill set they should be having, or what are the elements that are involved. So if you can just give some quick tips for that as well.
So yes, so if you're talking about personally, to talking to all the women who are watching this, you have to have, if you feel empowered, you should feel free. You should, I'm not saying feel free as in you don't need to respect anyone else's choices and decisions, but you should never have that threat, sinking feeling in you that you don't matter to anyone. And if that is the case, I think you should the first person to give importance to yourself. The self empowerment is more important than any gender empowerment, I believe. You should feel empowered. And how would you feel empowered? If you have any professional dreams or hopes, work around it. You know, if you have something that you want, work and fight for it. There's no harm. It's your life, and you have all the rights to design your life. I know society has set rules for every one of us, but ultimately we're gonna die with our own experiences. We're gonna die with what we missed and what we had. So just focus on that and make sure adjustment is okay. Compromise, I think no one, man, woman, any creature, anything should not compromise, because I don't believe compromises make happy people. They don't. Compromises would someday, they would end up you cribbing or complaining or whining about things. So do adjust, but then focus on yourself. Enable yourself professionally and economically. Very, very important. Strengthen yourself financially, because when you are financially strengthened and independent, you feel empowered. You can take decisions. If there is something which is not in your favor, mentally, physically, emotionally, you can take your decisions. So enable yourself professionally and learn skills. Please learn skills. It never goes out of fashion. You have to learn cooking, not because you have to impress someone, but because you need to eat. If at all there's, I think pandemic has taught us this. The skills are for yourself. If you're back at home and there's no one to cook for you, there's no delivery. So empower yourself with skills. Learn skills. Driving, basic things. It'll empower you. It'll make you feel good. So these are certain tips that I would want to share with all of you. And keep smiling. Stay happy. Trust me, nothing works like that.
So true, so true. I mean, and most of the time when we have such a beautiful interview with the speakers, I always say something that exists now may not even exist after a few years, but your skill sets will definitely take you along, sail you through the hard time. And that's great. So, Miss R, we have almost come to the end of the discussion of women.
I missed you for a second. I think there was a network issue. Could you please repeat?
Yeah, so I was just mentioning that, we've come to the last segment of the questionnaire. So how can a society add to this support women?
Society, I think, just accept us for who we are. I mean, not only who we are, let's accept each other for whatever we are, with our, strengths and weaknesses. Let's not compare each other. I might have different skill sets, I might have different strengths and weaknesses, and you might have, so when people start, I'll give you an example, like, this is something which I think all of us have noticed, and a lot of women, groups and platforms have been highlighting this. Recently, there were a lot of women who've been doing good in the Olympics, right? And then we start a lot of media posts started comparing women's success, like, from one woman to another woman. So women in the fashion industry or the television industry or the entertainment industry were compared to the women from the sports world and sports industry and their achievements. So this is again something I would want to request all of you. We all come with our different skill sets. We have chosen our industries as per our interest and our strengths. So let's not compare each other. And one thing I would again want to say, at least women should stop judging women. Women should at least start supporting women, which a lot of women are. And this interview is one such example. So I would like to thank you, Ms. Shavinder, for setting one such beautiful example that women can support women, and they must, because no one would understand our situation better than us. So that's how I think we can grow together and yeah, create a balance and a beautiful world around.
It, as our, as gender of the same equality, we must appreciate others. This, and we should have respect for each other's profession. That's the most important thing, that we should accept it, and let's understand, let's not compete with others, let's compete with it ourselves, and then I'm sure we'll do really great. Thank you so much. Achievers are not born talented, but they possess the attitude, I can do it. And that's what describes about our speaker, Ms. Rashmi Saha. Thank you once again for being a part of this interesting Women's Special Series, Choose to Challenge.
It was a pleasure joining you and sharing my views and a bit of stories that I have experienced. And would love to contribute more if required. Please count me in, and wish you all the very best with the series, and keep spreading the smile and the energy that you are doing with your show. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again. So if you wish to share inspiring stories, please contact us, shavi@e4gtalks.com. I thank all our viewers to please like, share, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to put your reviews on the comment section. For more interesting stories, stay tuned. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
E4G Talks is brought to you by ISECI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, ISECI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of ISECI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defense industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. ISECI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is ISECI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. ISECI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of ISECI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.